Hi, my name is Sujan Mathur. This is my individual video project for ICS 382 Computer Security at Metro State University with Professor Faisal Kaleem, summer 2016. So I'm going to talk about mobile security. Um, as you can see, generally when people talk about security in the computing world, it's generally more about desktops and laptops, um, and which of course there's obviously going to be lots of threats within the computing world for laptops and computers because people want to harm computers, but the same can be said about mobile devices. They're still just as susceptible to getting that stuff. A lot of the same functions that a computer can do, you can do on a mobile device as well. Um, so there's a lot of the same. So there's going to be a lot of the same threats that laptops and desktops are going to get. That mobile devices can get as well. You think that cell phone, that ultra awesome new cell phone you got is so awesome and nothing can hurt it. Well, actually, it's still just as susceptible to getting hacked and getting viruses. Doesn't matter how awesome that phone might be. It's still open for getting all kinds of stuff. Doesn't matter how cool the phone is. It's not more secure than your desktop or your laptop. So, like I was saying before, a lot of the same functions that you can get on your computer, things you can do on your computer, you can do on your laptop, on your mobile device as well. Um, for example, there's a lot, but here's a few examples. Check your email. You're out and about. You want to keep up on your emails for work, personal emails, whatever it might be. It's convenient to be able to just check your email wherever you are. Obviously, it's something you do on your computer, but it's more on maybe on the way home from work, whatever. Just kind of out and about, you can check your email. Same along those same kind of lines is social media. Keeping up with what your friends are doing when you're on the go. You can just keep up with everyone's doing. See the news. I'll admit I get a lot of my news from people posting stories on Facebook and such. Yeah, I gotta check the sources, but it gives me some news. It's and stuff like that because it's all in one place. So one place you can see some news, same place to see what your friends are up to, and it's pretty handy. Online banking. Checking your balance online, paying bills. Uh, just general things like that. Transferring money to friends or family if you need to, just or whatever you need to do. Just being able to keep track of your finances while you're on the go is quite nice. Um, Along the same lines is online shopping. Same thing, when you're on the go, you still want to be able to shop. Let's say there's that big sale at Target that you got to get to, but you can't make it in the store. But they have the sale online, and you're just kind of like, well, I have a little time during my commute, so let me go browse and buy some stuff. Well, there you go. You're doing your shopping online, or something. Let's say you're rushing home from work, and you don't want to cook dinner because you're feeling lazy. You had a long day at work. Hey, why not just order some food? And you can order on the way. By the time you get there, they might just be a minute or two away. Maybe they'll be there. Less wait time than waiting for that food. As soon as you get home, you can eat. It's grass. You eat it fresh and hot, and there's nothing better than fresh hot food. And you don't want it to be too cold, and all that as well. And then going back to the social media, keeping up, just chat in general, being able to quickly send a message, even a text. It's the same thing. It's still on your phone, obviously. You can send a quick text over to somebody, something like that. Just to kind of instant message and not have to. I know for someone like me, I don't like talking on the phone. I hate it. I'd rather text it. And I know there's a lot of people like that. And then just in general, there's just a lot of, there's apps for every little thing you can think of. I wonder there's an app for this. There probably is an app for that. Look it up. So just, there's kind of, a lot you can get. So what's the biggest thing that's common with all these? with all these things. Well, it's personal and sensitive information that you're putting into your phone. Uh, Someone who is able to get in your phone, they're gonna get all that information, uh, just as easily as someone who's accessed your computer. It's kind of it's the same thing. At the end of the day, mobile phones are just little mini computers, mini laptop, mini computers in your pocket. I heard the funny joke or whatever the other day that was like, uh, what's the weirdest thing that someone from the past coming back to here, to hear about now. I possess a device in my pocket that can access any of the world's information, and I use it to look at pictures of cats, and it's true. I look at a lot of cats, and I have cats, so I take a lot of pictures of my cats, and I add to the internet of cats, of course. Uh, but yeah, it's so it holds. You might have pictures of your family. My cats are that's our family. That's our kids, if you will. But people who take pictures of the family. They're gonna be posting information about family, maybe what they're doing and all that. So it's all kind of going in there. So this kind of brings me over to the vulnerabilities that you're gonna find. First and foremost, a big one is gonna be passwords. So when you get a computer or a new OS or anything like that, generally during the setup process, they prompt you to say, come up with the password for the administrator, prompt for the password for this user, and stuff like that. Unfortunately, that is not the case on a mobile phone. Um, they don't. You're able to just kind of use the phone, and you don't want to put on a password. You don't have to. It does obviously give you the option to do it. You can put on pins. You can do patterns. You can do fingerprints. I personally have a few of my fingerprints on there, and then a pin as a backup. Sometimes I don't put my fingerprint right on there, and it gives you so many times, and it asks you the pin, and you're just like, all right, because you got to put it perfectly on there. But there's things you can do with putting a password on there, and it does give you that option. But most phones obviously aren't going to come with it, and that's going to be a big threat for people being able to get on there, um, and stuff like that. Next thing here would be malware. A lot of the going back to saying how there's apps for everything. Well, the thing is, it's because people can make their own apps, and they can submit it to the App Store or the Play Store uh, pretty easily. So there's a lot of third party type apps out there, and the thing is they can be people could have easily embedded them with some sort of malware that you obviously can't see, and then it's gonna have the malware might lure some users to um, give up any of their information, type in their usernames and what have you, and in personal information, um, and they would never really know because they might be using this app, some simple app like, for example, a flashlight. Like, whoa, this app gives me a cool flashlight. Here's my flash on and make a flashlight. Yeah, but why am I getting all these pop-ups though? That could be them. They're throwing on stuff in there like random ads popping up in your notifications and stuff. And yeah, I know flashlight app is a bit outdated at this point because obviously most phones come with that built-in to turn the light on as a flashlight. But you get the idea. Um, but this is gonna so that's gonna open it up for the malware and all that. Um, and then the security software doesn't come on there. So if you get a computer, you're obviously gonna get some sort of a virus scan or something. Either it's gonna come with it, or or it's gonna prompt you and say, "Hey, you should get this." Obviously, they might not always suggest the best one, but at least you're having that reminder. If it doesn't come with it installed, you still have a reminder like, "I should get it," or you could just download one, suggest whatever. The point is, they have something like that. Mobile phones, not so much. You don't have that kind of software, which can help fight against things like Trojans, like malware, trojans, worms, and attacks with like and such. Um, and so yeah, it puts in a risk which hackers can obviously use to just get your uh, get your personal information, which you probably don't want um, going on here. Just so out of date OS and software. So a lot of times they'll come up with security patches to fight against some sort of new Trojan virus, whatever that might be out here. The big issue happens. It happens with time. So um, if let's just say Google comes out with a new security patch, so they come up with the patch. Then the manufacturer, LG, Samsung, HTC, whatever, they got to come up with their own version of that software upgrade, that patch, for their devices. And so that's step number two. Step three is the carriers, Sprint, AT&T, Verizon, all that. Then they got to be the ones to distribute that to to all their customers. And all this can take time, going through all these different steps. And who knows, by that time it might be too late, and whatever that vulnerability, whatever that Trojan may go and affect phones. I'm sure it's a shorter process with Apple, but you still got to deal with carriers. Because it's going to be probably Apple making the patch, and Apple would just give it straight to the carriers, cuts out one step. But there's still the issue of the carriers, getting out on time. I know when there's updates, like my fiance might get the update, and then I'll be like, I didn't get anything for an update, and maybe 12 to 24 hours later, oh, I got the update now. So they don't. It's not like they kind of just letting them out. It's still staggered between devices and stuff, and that's even just a little second could open up a lot of time, for to be able to, these security risks, these vulnerabilities to hurt your phone. And the next thing is there's no kind of firewall. So when your phone, your mobile device connects to the internet, it's just using any communications ports to connect to the internet, and a lot of these are unsecure. So hackers can easily get into those use those unsecure ports to hack into your phone and easily get any of your information. So without that firewall, it opens up your device to getting hacked and all that stuff stolen, and obviously that's going to be an issue. Um, and then finally, just talking about jailbreaking and rooting your phone. Now this can be good. Like a lot of people, if they know what they're doing, they're professionals, or just people who know obviously IT. It's good because they can kind of tweak a lot of stuff that can't be tweaked otherwise, and may use it to maybe boost up their security that otherwise they couldn't. But a lot of people might just do it just to simply get unauthorized software that they couldn't install there in the first place. Um, and obviously that can come going back to the malware and going back to all the embedded apps, is that they could get this unauthorized software that maybe there's a reason it wasn't allowed to install. They knew it had this stuff in there, and so these people go and install it. They're like, I just want to get this cool app installed. It might end up hurting them in the end, and get this stuff stolen. So and then finally, an unsecure Wi-Fi. So you go to the coffee shop. You're like, I'm gonna get a cup of coffee, relax. Oh look, they have free Wi-Fi. I don't have unlimited data, right? So this will be nice. I can check my emails, catch up on Facebook, read the news, and just kind of relax. It seems like quite the ideal situation, which, let's be honest, it's pretty nice if you don't have that unlimited data plan to be able to get on, and then just relax and have your coffee and maybe catch up, and all of that. The problem is there can be a hacker can access the exact same Wi-Fi. Let's say they're sitting in that same coffee shop. What they can do is become like a middleman, so they get between your device, and the Wi-Fi main Wi-Fi signal, and from that they can use it to get on your computer or just get information from computer, and once again get all the information stolen. So what can we do to kind of improve it? Well, there's the simple one is just put on a password. You know, simple as that. Like, yeah, obviously it's not gonna, like I said, it's not required by the phone. It's defaulted to just be unlocked. But you might as well. Like I said, I put the fingerprint. I have that. You never know. What if you leave your phone somewhere? Um, to leave your phone somewhere and someone gets it. If you don't have that password, they can just open it up, unlock it, and yeah, maybe you'll get lucky and it's the good Samaritan try to give your phone back. But more often than not, it's gonna be the guy who wants to steal your stuff. Um, so if you put that password, like, yeah, the hacker could easily somehow crack that. But if you do, there's also apps you can get that if your phone is lost, you can send a command online. If you jump on the computer, and you can send a command to wipe the thing or factory default or anything like that, so that they're not able to get information. So if you do have something like that and you put a password on there at the same time, by the time they're able to get that password hacked, you might be able to send a signal and they'll get nothing out of you, and stuff like that. So, you know, put a password. I'm gonna skip one here. Then it's on the point here. There's two-step authentication, same kind of thing. Um, you know, same kind of thing. So like, you can put on that secondary password on there. So like if you're doing like sensitive like transferring something communication, some sort of sensitive communication, anything like that. So usually the two-step has your password and then a code that gets erased every 30 seconds, or it gets changed every 30 seconds or so. And then if let's say they hack your password, well, they're not going to get that one in the 30 seconds, because by the time they break that code, it's going to reset to a new one. So you get that added security. So same kind of thing. We'll go back up a point here to the verify apps. Like I said, just watch out those apps. Don't be stupid about it, and make sure you know where they're from. If you don't know where it's from, don't download it. Maybe do your research, look up the company name and see if it's legit, and stuff like that. Simple as that. Let's get back down here to anti-malware. So, software, pretty much the antivirus, anti-malware, same kind of thing. It's going to protect you against stuff like Trojans and viruses and, stuff like that. Obviously, you didn't fight that. So if you do happen to download that bad app, this thing would actually be able to hopefully detect that and then tell you, get rid of the app or uninstall it for you or something like that, just to keep you protected. And then finally, if you're able to, put up that firewall, um, just for the unsecured ports, to block out those unsecured ports, so you're getting more security that these guys can't get into. And at the same time, try to avoid unsecured Wi-Fi if you can. Obviously, that's sometimes you just need it quick to get on, but you gotta be careful with that stuff, and maybe even have, like, if you have like a firewall on your thing and all that, it might be able to help with that kind of stuff. So in conclusion, there's a lot of easy things that you can do to like protect yourself with the information on your phone. As like I said, putting on the password and just checking your apps. For the simple things. Even just getting the anti-malware. Like maybe you can't get a firewall all the time, but I think at the very least, just put a password on, check while you're downloading and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, that's what I have to say on that. There is a lot, uh, that it can go on for security. But yeah, that should be about it. And thanks for watching.